Last summer, Logic released No Pressure, which was an album that saw him return to his roots sonically and also exhibiting a ton of reflection, introspection, not only for rap music as a whole, as he usually tries to do, but as well as his personal life, his career, and establishing this new path he was taking towards being a father to his son. This was supposed to be the last hurrah for Logic as he walks off into the sunset with nothing left to prove, cementing his impact on rap as he retired. And that context definitely gave No Pressure a lot more weight and gravitas towards appreciating what Logic has done in rap. Then no less than like 2 months later after that album dropped, he just was dropping songs under a different pseudonym anyway. And 1 year and 6 days after the release of No Pressure, his retirement album, we have Bobby Tarantino 3, which is the third entry in the small projects that serve usually as something to listen to, nothing too serious, usually before Logic puts out a full-length album. And usually for me, these projects are mostly middling filler filled with like contemporary forgettable stuff with a few good songs worth coming back to, and this one in the trilogy is no different. The intro, titled INTROLL, is a pretty big waste of a minute, as this serves virtually no purpose whatsoever. Following that is Vaccine, which has Logic rapping fast over a dime a dozen beat. Nothing really notable here for me. There are lyrics referencing his return from retirement and mentioning how important his family is to him now, but that kind of rings empty to me considering I heard almost an entire full-length album previously that was just way more fleshed out and believable in that aspect. Not saying it's not believable here or that he doesn't care, but on the song it just doesn't come out that way. Call Me sees Logic attempting to be this supportive figure, but I have heard Logic do songs like this in the past that are much more enjoyable. Flawless is the obligatory Don't Trust Anybody song with a cool beat, but the verses and hooks are super contemporary. It has like no identity to it at all. It doesn't even sound like a Logic song. God Might Judge immediately sets expectations of a great song because of Logic name dropping Kanye and saying this is that Kanye shit before the song completely shits itself. The beat with the crooning childlike sample is super basic, and this is also the longest song here at 5 minutes long, and it just goes on and on. See You Space Cowboy sees the return of my most disliked Logic trope, where he talks in an unfocused manner for like 2 minutes of a song that has nothing to do with anything. Definitely the lowest light on the project for me, even though I thought the Arabic line was pretty funny. And the closer, pretty unremarkable if you ask me. There were a few songs that I liked, as I foretold in the beginning. Get Up, I think, has a nice psych rock vibe to it. I really like how breezy the acoustics are, and I also really enjoy the calming vocal licks on the back end of the hook. I really like the way Logic sings on My Way. It sounds like he put a lot behind it vocally, and it shows. Not to mention, I think the knocking hand drums are a nice touch. Inside speaks about the inner struggles and tortures Logic is going through. Cynthia Erivo gives a great vocal contribution, and I like the cinematic string tinges to close the song off. And Theme for the People has a sweet bass line, and I enjoy the perspective of where Logic is rapping from about the responsibility he feels like he has to make music for people who depend on his material to make it through the day. I can understand it sounds pompous, but I think it's earned given that Logic backs that up with the amount of effort he has put behind being very positive in his music, as well as raising mental health awareness, all at the detriment of basically destroying his online internet reputation, being clowned a lot on the internet, so massive props for him continuing to do so. Overall, I think it's another subpar project where he rehashes a lot of the same material without taking any risks or challenging himself, which, you know, works for him. His audience is pretty used to and supportive of this kind of material from him. I personally would like to hear something more focused and ambitious, but I feel like I have been saying that for like the last 5 years after every Logic album comes out, aside from No Pressure, so here's to hoping. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down below, and I will see you on the next video. I'd give it a